All right, everyone, we are live. Had some technical difficulties with my Zoom app. For some reason, it wasn't connecting, and so I didn't feel like continuing to try. So we just went ahead and went straight on to Facebook. Um, so I had some slides. I had a few other things. Hey, Allison, how are we doing here this morning? And I had a few slides and things, so my Zoom app wasn't working. I scrapped the idea. Yesterday, I mentioned that I was going to be talking about the two boxes. And what that is, I'll just explain it real quick, and I decided against that because I don't know if it really pertains to everybody here. But what that is it's what we do on a daily basis, and it's to help us to stay focused on what we really need to do, because we get consumed by all the other stuff that goes on, like all the other business stuff and everything else, when we need to focus on maybe one or two things each and every day, kind of what we've been talking about, your message, talking to the people, having that conversation, those type of things. So I just kind of felt that and then what it is. And then you have the business side of things, which is all the other stuff that we do that really doesn't do anything. But if you have a business, it's the accounting, it's the the business side of things. It's all the it's the creating of the content, for example. It's the managing the pages that you are on. Maybe it's editing videos, editing content. It's all that type of stuff, and it's very time consuming. If you have a email database and you're running that, it's very time consuming to manage the email database, to write emails, send those out there, repurpose this content. I repurpose this content. I put it on YouTube. I also, every now and then, I'll create this content and strip the audio off, edit that up, and put it into a podcast like I did yesterday, because I kind of felt that yesterday's content was kind of inspiring. So today we're going to talk about, I scrapped the idea. I want to ask you, I says, I don't know where everybody's faith is at, but how many of you get up every morning and maybe start with a prayer? And maybe you ask, like, what should I be doing today? If you're like me, my mind is like, I am just all over the place. My wife and I couldn't even sit still today. My wife, if she was here, if she jumps on here, she probably will tell you. But I'm pacing back and forth. I've got my coffee in hand. She's laying in bed. I'm pacing back and forth with some ideas and things of a new program I'm going to share with you at the end, because I'm hoping that maybe we can put something together that will help you. And that's really what my goal is to do, is not only help you, but to help you provide value to the people that you're helping, and to deepen those relationships, so we can reach more people, save more lives. At the end of the day, nobody slips through the cracks. Hey, Trish, how you doing? Hey, I saw you sent me a message here this morning on your life wellness page. I'll get back to you on that. I haven't seen that message yet, but Trish is here. She has a Little Turtle Swim School in Orlando, Florida. So she's also my life and wellness coach. She's what you see right here. It's totally awesome. I know it is, but she's going to improve this. I know. I took that off of a line of Steve Harvey. I'm not like Steve Harvey by no means. But anyways, but what I was saying is how many of you get up every morning and kind of ask what it is that you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? And what I was talking about is the two boxes that I mentioned yesterday. So I scrapped that idea. I think there's a lot of value, but it might be more for those of us that might be in business, things like that, and you feel consumed about everything that you're doing, and maybe I can help coach you through that process, so to keep you on track. So we'll save that for another day. And so what I want to talk to you about is a survey. And then I'm putting together, and I called this Tuesday Trivia. And I know last week we did a trivia questions on slogans, and I have something for next Tuesday, trivia, which is kind of in the line of the slogan thing too. So we'll add that in there. But what I was doing here, if we're looking at a survey, when we're talking to families, and this is the general public, this is families that might not know what you know, And this is really to find out what basically what you might be able to provide information for them. Let me put this back in here. I had it up and then I was goofing around with something else. And let me find it again. Of course, anytime you do something, you never will find the one that you were looking for. And let's see, of course not. It's pediatrics. Of course, I'm not finding it. Anyways, there was 10 questions. I remember, I was going to go through all the questions, but for the sake of time, we won't do that. But it was 10 questions, and basically, it was basic questions like, is drowning an epidemic, for one, true or false? What's the average age of a child? What's the leading or the average age of the leading cause of death to children? Maybe you can give a couple examples there. Most of these were true or false questions. How much water does a child need? 6 inches or more of water to drown? Are the majority of open water drownings within rip currents, and are they adults? These type of, so these type of questions, and really coming up with like a survey that you could give your customers, your clients, your people that you're talking to, if you're setting up a booth or a table, and you can kind of give these things. And there's a whole bunch of these out there. You can use SurveyMonkey as another good one. If you don't have a platform, SurveyMonkey allows you to build out a survey, and you can email this. We're going to be putting together something like this as an opt-in. And what I wanted to share with you is a program that I'm building out to hopefully maybe we can help provide value to you guys. A lot of you here have businesses. A lot of you here have your swim instructors. A lot of you you're out and about. A lot of you are advocates. And I want to be able to provide some value with the things that I know, not only from the business side of things, but also from the water safety side. So we are, and I've struggled with this for about 2 years because I want to get education information out to the general public. And so I'm looking at this as from a coaching standpoint, not a consultant, not those type of things, but I want to help families, moms, dads, parents with pools, things like that. Also aquatics professionals in, say, the YMCAs, those type of places, about number one, educating people on water safety, taking a look and providing value. And I don't know what I'm going to call this, but I want to be able to put together, say a survey or put together something that can be handed out. So for an example, if the local YMCA here says this is great, we want to provide information, because I've always said is when little Johnny and little Susie comes into your pool, most people do a pretty good job, but many people do not have that conversation with mom and dad. Do they own their own pool? Do they know CPR? In other words, all the layers of protection, all those type of things. So we want to be able to coach people on, by taking a look at their current situation as far as their current, what they have. In other words, do they have door locks and window alarms, doggy doors, additional pool fencing? Do they take the pool, toys out of the pool? Do they know CPR? Does everybody in the house know how to swim? Do they have that static cling with the emergency numbers on the sliding glass door? Do they have a magnet with all the emergency numbers on their refrigerator? Do they have a protocol? Do they have a plan in which to put this out there? So that's kind of what I'm talking about here. It's like building a program, like a coaching program, a coaching group that we can bring families and people into, where you're not really having to create the content. We can, and so here's an example. I'm talking with a company in California, hopefully today. He's part of this group too, but they have a product that they're setting out to homeowners and for home use, also commercial use too. And having, let me find it. Of course, when I want to look for something, I don't see it hanging. So, for example, I shared last week, we have these little thank you cards, okay? See, it's a thank you card. It says, Rick and Lori Kaufman, founders, thank you for pledging your time and energy to make pools and water safer. Kelsey, my daughter, the Kelsey Code. And it says, listen to our podcast. It gives our office number and everything else. Then on the back, it has a little bit of a story and our mission, what it is. And this is a postcard. But what I would like to do is put something like this together. Trish, it's kind of like a checklist, something that people, what we would be going through is going through a checklist where people could videotape and actually do a walkthrough and send us a videotape of their situation. And then we can make recommendations on, I don't know if I'd call them recommendations, but like if they need additional layers of protection, areas that might need attention, we can make those recommendations and then partner with those businesses and companies in that particular area and be able to provide that information. So if they need a additional pool fence, we could send them additional pool fence. If they need swim lessons, we would partner with those swimming instructors and schools in that area. And obviously this would be something that we could do. We're going to put this out locally and test this in our local area, but we're also going to do that. But the other thing is like when we partner with some companies and businesses that have products and services and pools, basically, we would put a card, something like this, that could go out with the product, that would go out and say, we're inviting them into our, in other words, as a added value to you as a client of ABC company or ABC school or whatever that is, we would like to provide you with additional layer of protection when we talk water safety. We want to provide you with, to allow you access, free access to the Kelsey Code coaching program, whatever that is, or how we would put this together. And now, in turn, we have affiliate links. We could put together links that would track these people that would sign up. If you have a business or a product and you would be sending people this way, for example, they would sign up. We would have their email address. We would capture that email address. So, for example, Allison, you are in Florida, and Trish, you're in Florida, and I know Cheryl, you're in Indiana. We have people in California, Texas, all over the place here, really. But we could have a tracking. It would be the same sign up form, but each person would have a list. So we would be able to track exactly who is signing up. So it would allow us to tailor our content directly to them as part of, say, your program or part of your business to make sure we're delivering additional value. The other thing, too, is as we do our podcast, when we interview people, we would make a big effort and concerted effort to interview those of us that are involved in the water safety and in this program to make sure we interview those, and then those would also go out to those people. The biggest thing is just I talk about the unthinkable to prevent the unthinkable to happen, reaching people one person at a time, and just looking at ways to where not only it's my story, but it's everybody else's story. It's about sharing, what it is that we know, but finding those people that are the most vulnerable and then being able to provide that service. We have a program that I'm going to put together. Matter of fact, I'm going to start working on this week. We're actually, my wife, that's probably why she's not on here, she's actually searching pool and spa shows in around the Dayton, Columbus area. We're actually going to start doing this and marketing straight out to people that own pools, people that have children. And we're going to test this as far as to see if people would be willing to be part of a coaching group where we can deliver value in there, 100% free, at least on the front side, but there would also be a paid version where we would then come in and possibly coach and work with them directly, and then network with the businesses and companies that might offer products, services, things like that, as affiliates, to where, not only myself and possibly you and everybody else would also earn an affiliate commission by just referring those people. We're finding areas that need improvement in their home. The other thing too is that I'm looking at too is adding a component with the aquatics professionals. Not so much you guys are part of the water safety drowning prevention space. Many of these aquatic professionals, such as park and recreations and YMCAs, they're not part of any drowning or prevention space. So looking at a program also to offer, education to the people who educate.
And so coaching them or helping them to educate their people in the public even to do a better job, and putting basically a done for you template or a system together that will help streamline this. If this would interest you, let me know if you would like to learn more as I can put this together. This is something that we're going to be putting out there. So we're going to do this by utilizing some type of survey or checklist to get people thinking about these things and finding out what do they know about drowning. I mean, and I think we'll probably find that most people really will probably get 50% of those questions right. We can throw in some trivia with it, maybe make it fun, but we can go out and just engage people in a conversation. Let them tell us what they know or don't know, and then we can address that with them at that point in time. So that's what I have on my coffee break here today. So I've got my drowning warrior mug. See, and Trish, I did have my shake today with all my goodies in it. I'm getting better with that. I'm really mixing everything together. So that's it. I'm having fun with that. My wife's even doing it also. So hopefully she's not here right now. She's downstairs, but we'll share some of her experiences with that. No, I just felt like I wanted to not spend so much time talking about the things I thought about talking about. And so I kind of scrapped this and put this together on the fly. And so I winged it today. And so there you go. Any comments, any thoughts on any of that? Just post it here. If not, let me know in a private message or an email, or reach out to me. We'll jump on a call. We'll jump on something. We'll talk a little bit more about this in depth. I've got several calls this morning starting about 10 o'clock where I'm looking at talking with some businesses and things like that to see if this would be something that would interest them, and networking with them to maybe provide those solutions out to those people. Yeah. No, she's feeling pretty good. I think she's feeling good. My wife, we're having a discussion on another topic, but but she's actually, I think, doing well. But she had that horse riding accident years ago, so she still has a lot of aches and pains from that. I don't know if there's been any improvement in that area, but I know for me, I've always prescribed, because I've been in business for so long and I'm a workaholic, that when I'm in better shape and when I'm feeling better, I can show up more consistently. I can show up and be more focused on what it is that I'm doing. And I'm a very competitive person, and it's like I may not know as much as anybody else. I may not be the best at what I do. The one thing I know is I outwork probably 99% of the people. And so in order to outwork 99% of the people, I know you have to be healthy. You got to feel good. You got to feel good about yourself, and you got to have the energy to be able to do those. And a lot of those just start with a good daily routine of eating right, those type of things, and exercising, all those. And so, that is another big part of what I want to convey to the Kelsey Code and to everybody here, because the mission, we have so many lives to save. We have so much work to do, and there's so few of us. There's not, I want to reach 100 million people, but we have enough people within the water safety space that could really, really make a huge impact and make a world of difference. But as you can see, I have invited thousands of people to be part of this group, and I think I have a total of 70 or 80 people that have joined, and I think we're closing on about 30 people that are here, part of the Facebook group. So it goes to show you where people's mindset is at, and what, as far as what they think is important, and that, we have to invest in ourselves. We have to do the work that we have to do. And if we're not investing in ourselves and we're not improving, as I always say, if you're not growing, you're dying. And to me, that's the unthinkable. If we don't reach anybody, if we don't reach people, then people slip through the cracks. And the unthinkable, it may not happen to us, but the unthinkable happens to everybody else, and we can prevent that in some shape, way, or form. So So I've looked and studied the baby proofing market quite extensively. I'm reaching out to a few baby proofer business people I know, taking a look at their business model, and I'm going to look to see how we can incorporate that business model into a water safety, drowning prevention business model, and to be able to put that out there to maybe provide an additional revenue stream, or to provide those who are not swim instructors, to provide those people that revenue stream or ability to do that on the other side, either part of their nonprofit or as an extension to what they are currently doing. That's where what I'm thinking about doing is putting that into the Kelsey Code, putting that into a separate segment, a separate group here, and starting with some type of checklist or survey. So any ideas on that? We'll be working on that this week, and then I will share that probably next week in one of the coffee breaks. So, hey guys, been on here long enough, about 20 minutes or so. I know if we're all on here having our coffee, we need to go back to work now before we get fired. So you guys are all awesome. Keep up the great work. Make sure you share. Well, first of all, just so you know, if you're wanting to share this content, this content is not shareable, okay? This is an extremely private group. I have this group locked down. People in the outside world cannot see this, and if they are not part of this group, if we share it, they will not see it. So I'm converting this over, these videos over into a YouTube video, and so and you can go to the Kels Group on our YouTube channel if you want to share this, any of that content. That's where you want to go. Take those there, share that. All these also are in the members area too, that you'd have to go through that as a progression, and you can binge watch that someday if you're really bored and you want to just listen to me all day long. There's I think we're closing on about, we've done almost, this makes 28 or 29 Facebook Lives we've done in almost 4 weeks that we've been doing this, and we're going to be doing this as long as I guess I can keep showing up and doing it. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead, let's get our day going. You guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, see ya.